Hello everyone, my name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about Heritage by Countee Cullen. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Alright, Heritage by Countee Cullen, really interesting poem here. Within this poem, the speaker is talking about Africa and how there's a disconnect between Africa and the speaker, and how the speaker was raised in a Western reality. The speaker has Western Christian beliefs, but at the same time, the speaker um, is thinking about his African roots, um, uh, thinking about um, the traditions of Africa. The poem offers a lot of imagery about what it means to be African, or what he thinks it would mean to be African. So it's a very powerful poem of people who were taken from Africa as slaves and brought over to the U.S. And pretty much you had that tie severed. The languages that you spoke in your country, because the thing is, we know that there are several countries in Africa involved in the slave trade, and there's a lot of people that don't know where they came from. I mean, there's all types of technology today that will tell people where they might come from, but no one truly has a connection, a deep connection with where they came from. Most people on the planet know where they were born, know where their parents were born, know where their grandparents and their whole lineage are from. But talking about African Americans or Black Americans in America, you really don't know what country, where your ancestors or the enslaved people were taken from, because they were just being taken from several different countries and being brought to America as slaves. So here there's this reality of the speaker recognizing that he has Western values, he has Christian values, but at the same time there's a longing to know about Africa and also a disconnect with Africa. And the poem doesn't really offer us any answers of how to solve this problem. It just paints a picture of loss, not knowing, understanding the reality where you are. There's a part of you, there's a connection of you that is lost. You don't know how to regain it. But at the same time, you are a product of where you were born, because the speaker recognizes he was born in the Western world and he has Western values. But at the same time, the speaker knows that there's something more to him, a culture, a heritage that he lost, that he can't connect to. So that the title of the poem has a lot to say here in terms of deeper meaning analysis. The title of the poem has a lot to say here. The speaker is talking about Africa, but it's all a bunch of ideas and thoughts and figures and imaginations, because truly the speaker is looking at the whole continent, because you truly don't know where you're from. You truly don't know what country you're talking about. And there's several countries. It's a whole continent. There's several countries in Africa. I mean, the poem is pulling together all types of images to piece them together to form an identity. Um, and the speaker has an identity, but we can't, an identity based on Western beliefs and Christian beliefs. But in terms of heritage, the speaker is quite lost, because you kind of have to look at the whole continent and say, well, I could be from any one of these countries. Um, you know, that's why you have, what does Africa mean to me within the poem, because you kind of do have to look at the whole continent. And I guess that's why um, African Americans, or Black people in America, the reason why they're called African Americans, or one reason I would, I guess, come to a conclusion of why they were called African Americans, because you just have to kind of like identify with the whole continent, because you just don't know exactly where you're from. I mean, of course, People will say, well, most slaves come here, most slaves come there. But ultimately, who knows? Because one individual could have come from anywhere. So it's a very deep poem to think about. The imagery is very interesting. There's a sense, there's a feeling of loss, there's a feeling of not knowing, a feeling of establishing values based on where you grew up, and a lost heritage overall, because you truly don't know your heritage, especially when you're looking at it from this speaker's perspective within this poem. That's all I had to say about this poem. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.